Hi, this is Andy of Andy's Personal Development, and we are currently live in the breakout room. So, welcome and welcome, and we love being here for you with quality and value to inspire and to transform. Remember, we are on Apple, Spotify, Google, Amazon, and iTunes. Today, as usual, we have a special guest to share with you for your development and growth and to live your better informed life. So, grab a cup, pull up a seat, and stay tuned for the introduction. Right here, now, live in the breakout room. It's the place for health, happiness, and prosperity. Stay tuned. Our next guest in the breakout room is Joe Soltis. He is the CEO of Choice Local, a purpose-driven and results-focused digital marketing agency for franchisors and franchisees. This is the man, and Choice Local is helping others. They strongly support and are involved in charitable works. And they say they want to give back. As they continue to give back, it is the house that Choice Local built. Choice Local is a company and a member of the IFA International Franchise Association, named on the Inc. 5000 list and rated as a top workplace for the last 4 years. They say our digital marketing strategies are driving growth across more than 50 franchise systems. We're adding new franchise systems every month. So, let's welcome this marketing genius and his company live in the breakout room. The man of the moment, Joe Soltis. Hi, welcome to Andy's Personal Development. This is Andy, your award-winning and internationally accredited life and development coach. And we have in the breakout room live is the man, the CEO of Choice Local, Joe Soltis. We're going to welcome him now in the studio. Hi, Joe.
Hi, Andy. Great to be with you today. How are you?
We're doing fine. How are you doing, Joe?
I've never been better.
That sounds good. What a great positive note to start on. So, Joe, let's get right into the conversation. Tell us a bit about you as a childhood individual growing up in the community or village or wherever you grew up. What was it like for you as a young man growing up with your family and friends and stuff? Share that experience with us, please.
Yeah, so I grew up in a city called North Olmsted, Ohio. So that's where I basically spent between the ages of 6 and 18 years old. It's a suburb of Cleveland, Ohio. My dad was an engineer for NASA. He worked on the International Space Station.
Wow.
I worked with different projects with the Russians right after the fall of the Soviet Union.
Mm-hmm.
Though things are not in a great place today with Russia and what's going on in Ukraine, but it was a really interesting time in history, and it was neat kind of after the fall of the Soviet Union for the two countries to work together. So my dad did a lot of work on that. My mom was a stay-at-home mom. I was the youngest of 4 children. Other funny story is my dad, when he was 8, I grew up in a Catholic family. My dad, when he was in 8th grade, applied to be a priest in the seminary and was rejected.
Okay.
At that age, at that time in history, it actually wasn't uncommon for people to enter the priesthood or the seminary that young.
Okay.
The other thing that's funny is my mom was actually a sister of Saint Joseph almost. She was about to take her final vows as a nun, and then decided she didn't want to be a teacher for the rest of her life. So I was raised by an almost nun and an almost priest. So that my childhood growing up. Very loving family and great siblings, and really blessed to have a great childhood.
Yeah, great. Thanks for sharing, Joe. Would you say that based on your experience now and remembering those wonderful days, that it led in a very important way to the choices that you made in terms
Yeah.
of your spirituality and your social upbringing and family commitment? Did it play a great role in the choices that you made later on?
Absolutely. So when I first went into business, I found that I tended to have tremendous success wherever I went.
Yeah.
And I started out when in business is just just very early on. I was an
Hmm.
account executive and a digital marketing specialist in one,
Hmm.
and had big growth there, and then worked my way up to vice president of operations, and then we grew the company from an 8-person company to a 180-person company, one of the top ranked companies in the advertising age, and served Fortune 500 companies, multi-billion-dollar companies.
Yeah.
What I found was everything I ever really needed to learn, I learned in kindergarten. Like,
Mm. Yeah. Yeah.
there's a
Yeah.
very simple truth to if you treat others the way you want to be treated, which was the way that
Mm.
I was raised,
Right.
it creates loyalty, it creates enthusiasm, it can create energy in people because they know you got your back there and you got their back
They're
and they
back. Yeah.
back.
Yeah.
And it really that very simple thing that my parents taught me just as a young kid ended up being the number one rule for success in business, and that was quite a blessing. So it for sure had an impact.
Great.
Tremendous. Yeah.
Yeah, great. Tremendous. It seems as though 2012, Joe, was a very pivoting year for you. You did hint the fact that you were very successful as a VP of operations. Tell us about that experience and how much did you learn from that experience in terms of the success of the business and modules that you would have later on used to start your own business.
Yeah, absolutely. So in 2012, I was working. The company was growing like crazy. I think we added like
Mhm.
20 people that year. We had
Yeah.
record breaking profits and revenue and all of those things. And but I was working a lot. I was working about 60 hours a week.
Yeah.
And I went with my wife into an ultrasound late into a pregnancy,
Hmm.
and came right over from work, and I was there for the ultrasound, and there was no heartbeat. Um,
Mm.
and for me, I always said I want to be successful so that I can help people.
Right.
And what changed that day is I didn't want to wait anymore. I wanted to help people now. I didn't want to run a company just to make money. I
Hmm. Yep.
wanted to give back. I wanted to help people, and I wanted to create a company in an environment where folks could be wildly successful beyond their dreams, but be able to do that working a 40-hour work week as well.
Right.
Because I wanted folks to maximize their time with their family,
Hmm.
and their friends and in their private life, and I want them to not live a stressful life, but I wanted them to be wildly successful
Right.
in their career as well too.
Hmm.
So we, after some prayer and some reflection with my wife on it, we launched Choice Local. I actually wrote the mission statement of Choice Local, which is help others. And I wrote the core values for the company prior to even having a business plan. It's that
Okay.
fundamental to who we are. Like a lot of companies, they have mission statements, they have core values, and it isn't super substantive. It's more like something you write down to say you have.
Mm.
We're with us, it's the complete opposite. We are a
Okay.
mission-driven organization. We were founded for that, and it started as a one-person company. Today, we are the top performing franchise marketing agency, one of the fastest growing companies in the United States. We have 12 open positions that we're hiring for right now due to unprecedented growth.
Hmm.
And we're going to scale this company to be a 600-person organization. And then we're
Wow.
also launching other companies out of it. So it's been a great
Okay.
blessing. We take 10% of the profits out of the company. Our mission is to help others. We take 10% of the profits out of the company and we use it to help kids in need with a big, hairy, audacious goal of helping 10,000 kids a year. So far this year, we're over 6,100 kids helped, and we are now in June. So we are on track to hit that goal this year.
Great. Wonderful. Tell us a bit about that. I'm referring to the Benjamin Isaac Foundation, of course, which would be very emotional for you, and I understand the connection there. But also, how do you put the criteria out to select these 10,000 kids? What is the method by which you use. And I want to give you the necessary time to explain that, because this is a fantastic thing, and hats off to you guys for doing it. But is there a particular criteria that you have in place or process to choose these kids, or do you get help from other NGOs developing something that you would use to look at the 10,000 and then make your choices and reach out and help?
Absolutely. So really what we're looking for is organizations that help kids.
Mm-hmm.
And we're looking for organizations that do it from the heart in a very effective way.
Yeah.
And most of them, we're looking for ones that help with temporal needs,
okay,
but also have a faith component to who they are.
All right. I hear that.
So if we look at like Habitat for Humanity, for example,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That we just about 2 weeks ago, we gave Bree, she's a single mother with 3 beautiful boys. We sponsored their home. The Choice Local team also volunteered over the course of several months, twice a week, with 4 teammates going out of shift to help build the home as well too. So we're the sole sponsor, and we build it. And that is an organization where we gave Bree, wonderful woman, and her boys, this home through Habitat for Humanity. It's a really great organization. Okay. So we're helping them in a big way. It's a very personal way, but we're also there's a message that God loves you there.
Right.
And that's a message that we want to share. And so that's important. Another organization that we help is Cornerstone of Hope. It's the first organization that we chose to partner with. Cornerstone of Hope was founded after Mark and Lisa Tripodi. They had a son who came down with bacterial meningitis, and he was perfectly healthy young boy. And then days later, he was dead. They were rocked to the core. The boy that passed away, his father, just didn't work for months at a time. Okay. His employer was super generous and just kept the paychecks coming, which is a great way to be purpose driven. But they worked through that after they got professional counseling and help, and it helped them kind of heal. And the goal was to take, and I love this, and this is a theme of something we love to support, of taking pain and turning it into purpose, because suffering can be redemptive, and there can be great value and good that can come out of suffering. So they created Cornerstone of Hope to help other families through that. So what we do is we fund the summer camps for kids, often inner city kids that lost loved ones to really horrible things, all the standard horrible things people can die from, but then also even more tragic things like suicide and murder. And a big problem now is opiate overdose. So we fund the summer camps for these kids, and then also so they can have fun and bond with other kids that are going through similar things, but also get professional counseling and support to go through that. There's other organizations like Mary's Meals, really exciting organization, because they give in the poorest of the poor countries of the world, kids don't go to school because they have to scrounge and look for food. So what Mary's Meals does is they feed them in a place of education. So they go to school and then they get free food while they're there, and they get meals. So hopefully that can help them break out of that horrible cycle of poverty while also getting the nourishment that they need. So all of these organizations are faith-based. So they send the message that God loves you, but they're helping you with something that you need in a very just essential human form: food, water, counseling, those types of things.
Great. Thanks for sharing, Joe. And I get the sense that you're quite passionate about that. I can understand that. And the approach is very holistic. And that is extremely important for young people, particularly. Yeah. How did you come up with the name Choice Local? What was the catalyst behind that?
One, a simple name that's easy to remember. Okay. And there are thousands of choices of companies that are marketing agencies. And one of the key thing within franchising is that it's replicable. And if you think about what a franchise system is, it's almost always a multi-location business where you have independent business owners. Like, I'll just give an example of one that probably most are familiar with, McDonald's. So they have locations all over the world, but they're individual owners at individual locations. And they all need local marketing so that they can drive customers and actually drive talent as well within their local community. So local marketing is where we do local marketing on a global scale. So we can take it down to the zip code, down to the household, down to the individual, and target that individual, that zip code. Very, very targeted marketing that's local oriented.
Okay.
At the same time, it's choice. We've been tested against 40 different agencies that do marketing in the franchise space. We've beaten all of them. And so it is definitely the choice cut, or the top choice, if you will. So that's where the name comes from. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, great. So borrowing from that a little bit, and I don't want you to give away any corporate secrets or anything, but what would you say is the thing that drives your company to the level of success that you can outgun the other 40 in the competition market? At the same time, how do you continue that in terms of the momentum going forward into the future, particularly with the current situation, economic and otherwise? How do you navigate that post-COVID?
Yeah, great question. So one of the first things is culture trumps everything else. So you build a culture where you build a team where everybody has each other's back.
Okay.
And when that happens, what starts to form is trust.
Right.
When there's trust, people are free, they're energized, they share information, and there's very fast collective learning. So it's all boats rise here. It's a culture of abundance. It's a culture of we have everybody's back. It's a culture where people feel safe and valued and appreciated. So when you have that culture, and especially when you're a service-based company, for heaven's sakes, it really does incredible things. So that's the first thing. So our mission is help others. Our number one core value is integrity in all things. Our number two core values, amazing customer service. And then we have candor with goodwill and family and giving, et cetera. So these are all fundamental to who we are and how we operate. So, and I just want to stress for anybody that's running a business or an organization, or frankly, a family, it needs to be built on rock solid core values, and they need to matter. So we literally hire for those core values first and foremost. And we're hiring after that for some intangibles like high energy and can you energize others? Are you a give person, which is also one of our core values. And then from there, we're going into the competencies for the job. And it actually is in that order first. It's not competencies first and then values, it's values first. Okay. And that's how you build an amazing culture in an organization. And you have to believe it. You have to hold yourself accountable to it. And everybody in the organization needs to believe it and be held accountable to it. So that's the first thing. Then the next thing is people love to win, and they also love freedom and autonomy. So how can you allow people to have both? Well, you need a proven recipe for success that you can train everybody on and walk them through and hold them accountable to. But also within that proven framework for success, encourage innovation and encourage testing, and let people know that failure is a good thing. The only way we can be successful is if we fail sometimes. Failure is to be celebrated. Even some of the best failures get put into our best practices as, hey, this is something you shouldn't do. So people, when they fail, need to know that is a good thing as well as winning. And so when you put both of that together, an amazing culture, a culture with proven process and best practices, and then continual innovation, that works incredibly well. The other thing that I'll add to it is that your innovation needs to be driven by your customers. So the pain points that your customers are telling you that they have in their business, whether that directly applies to what you do or not, you need to solve for that for them. And that can actually create new products and new revenue streams and increase customer loyalty and enthusiasm. So that's a very powerful thing. The other thing I'll say is to measure word of mouth and referral. There's just something called Net Promoter Score. It's the number one leading indicator of success in a business. Measure it religiously and optimize for it. It's very, very, very powerful. Speaking of, the economic situation, we've won Best Workplace. It was 4 years in a row. I think publicly we can now say it's been 5 years in a row. We've won. That just came out, I think, in the last few days. Okay. And in the post-COVID world, recruiting is a challenging thing. There are a lot of folks that retired early or left the workforce altogether, and there's literally a shortage of workers in the United States and Canada and most countries around the world today. So having a culture where you're known for being an amazing place to work really can help you recruit that top talent. And then also having a culture where you truly legitimately have everybody's back. You're providing great insurance, and really strong benefits. You profit sharing. You focus on work-life balance for your employees. You'll find that your turnover rate is super low to almost non-existent. And I'll be honest, our turnover rate has gone up in this environment compared to what it historically has been. But it's still, compared to marketing agencies, it's statistically speaking non-existent compared to what historically has been. So those are all really important aspects of that. And one other question, Andy, that you was related to this environment. So I think right now in the U.S. and globally, we're headed towards an economic recession right now. I would argue, as I've seen in the past, when you're in the business of something that drives superior value, an economic downturn is actually good for your business.
Yeah.
So folks are going to be looking, as they're facing more difficulty, for example, in marketing, what's giving me a provable ROI and how great is that ROI? Well, they're going to be attracted to what we do because we give them provable, trackable ROI that's better than anything they could get anywhere else. So in times of economic pullback, we find that our growth rate actually accelerates.
Okay.
So always make sure that in your business that you're a game changer in your industry. You're not just good, but you are literally the best, and never settle until you are the best, and continue to innovate until you are the best. So that when things happen like economic pullback, you can actually capitalize it and grow through the downturn.
Wow. Amazing. Thanks for sharing, Joe. I was once a student of John Maxwell, and he was saying to a group of businessmen once, you need to focus on relevance rather than the competition. And when he said it, they couldn't understand exactly where he was coming from. And he said, what I mean is simply this. Look at the things that are important to you in your business. Focus on those things. And then compare with that how it's relevant to what is happening in the world, the ecosystem, the community that your business is in, the people that you serve. They are the ones that matter the most. The competition will always be there. They will always do something different or amazing. But what about if you just focus on the people that matter the most and be always relevant? You're going to be always 2 steps ahead. And I believe in that. It's sound advice. And it looks like you're on that path, Joe. Congratulations. You guys are doing really good.
Andy, that is really, really sage advice. I have seen over the course of my career, there's a lot. I love what you say. I love what John Maxwell says. Like, there's been a lot of, and I'd also say, like, look at folks like Elon Musk,
right?
And what he's done with Tesla. He's not really looking at what the competition's doing. In fact, the competition's looking at Tesla and trying to figure out what Tesla's doing. Well, built a company out of something that was, an idea, and turned it into, in the process, through stock valuation of that company, turned himself into the richest man in the world. He did that by innovating. He did that by listening to the customer, seeing what the problems are, and then developing a solution for that was superior to anything else. If I'm completely honest, I spent almost no attention to our competitors or what they were doing.
Right.
But I spent religious attention to the feedback from our customers, our customer retention rate, our add-on rate, our loyalty rate, our net promoter score by our customers. And then also everybody at our company, we ask, what's your number one challenge? Before we start working with somebody, and what's your number 2 challenge? And we solve for those.
Okay.
And then what we'll also do is, before we meet with our customers monthly, we ask them what's new in their business. What's new? How are things going? And they'll tell you what's going well and what's not, whether that's related to you or not. And then you solve for it. Like, our customers were having a hard time staffing, so we developed a recruiting solution because they were growing so fast through our marketing services they couldn't keep up with it. So we developed a recruiting solution for them. Then they were having a hard time closing all of the leads. So we developed solutions using artificial intelligence through text messaging to improve close rates on leads that don't involve human intervention. That was a direct result of hearing what our customers said. And then they wanted to be more accountable. Like, they didn't have a way to track ROI all the way through and make sure that their salespeople were doing everything they should. So then we developed CRM solutions that we bundled in and tracked performance and to-dos that are completed on their side and key KPIs on the sales side. We integrated that into one solution. We could have just been like, no, we're just a pure play marketing company, and let's see what our competitors are doing to market differently.
Yeah.
But instead, we listened to our customers, developed new products, and got differentiation through that with a superior value proposition for the market and happier customers. That's the way to live. That's the way to run.
Yeah. Great. Thanks for sharing, Joe. You sung as though, and based on my personal assessment and the level of professionalism that you are exuding right now, you sung as a business coaching model that you're also providing for your customers and your clients. And to me, that's exceptional. So we have Joe Soltis live in the breakout room, the CEO of Choice Local, and he's been sharing some wonderful and inspiring values with regards to marketing and the concepts that has kept his company alive and at the front of their chosen field for such a long time. So we're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back with Joe Soltis live in the breakout room. Don't go anywhere, folks. FindRadioGuest.com, the place to click to find guests to interview for free. And if you're a radio show booker, podcaster, talk show host, or television producer, then this is the place to get podcasts and radio interviews or promote your books and products as a guest expert sponsor. FindRadioGuest.com. Check it out. Hi people, this is a special invitation for you to join our community. Yes, we're inviting you to join our community for 2022. What's in store? Well, what we want is your feedback on our content and our guests, but more so on what you need to be inspired and transformed from your current condition to one of happiness, health, and prosperity. So drop us a line and reach out. Help us to better help you achieve your goals. So, people, inbox me at www.facebook.com/mddreamer/. That's www.facebook.com/mddreamer/. Or send me an email at lovebitsa@gmail.com. That's lovebitsa@gmail.com. We love hearing from you as we build our partnership in growth and development, and we look forward to your communicating. Help us to help you to live a better life in personal growth and development from Andy's Personal Development. We love you. We look forward to hearing from you. See you soon. Bye for now. We just had a massive outbreak here of bad weather, and it took out our entire system. So we just got it back on stream. Sorry about that, Joe.
No worries, Andy. Good to be with you.
Man, that is something else. All right, so I'm gonna continue. We're gonna have to do our editing and stuff later. A couple questions I wanted to ask you is, now you said back in 2012 you work about 60 hours per week, and when you were at home you were often thinking about work instead of dividing or separating the two.
Yeah.
How challenging is that for you now, seeing that your company has achieved such a high level of success? Isn't there a greater demand for your time and your commitment and stuff? How do you balance work now and life and being a dad or a husband, as the case might be?
I got 6 kids, so I got a lot of kids to manage and support and love, and it's a lot. But to be honest, it's so fun and very doable. So one of the first things that I was fortunate enough to have, Andy, like you talk about, is mentors. And I've had some very great mentors in my life. And there's an article that was written in the Harvard Business Review called "Who's Got the Monkeys?" And I had a CEO of a company that called NCS Healthcare, went public, worth hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars, maybe more.
Yeah.
And that CEO also now today is a chairman of roughly 10 companies. And I had an opportunity to go to lunch with him every month. And basically, he would just say, "Tell me what's on your mind, and I'll give you advice." And basically, his advice was always in the form of questions, leading me to the right answer. It was his leadership style, which is a very multiplying leadership style. He's truly just a very special guy. And one of the things in that article that he had me read is Who's Got the Monkeys? And there's this idea that it just kind of tells the story. Just like imagine like a monkey is something someone puts on your back, which is work that needs to get done. And if you're in a leadership position, what often can happen is you'll have people that are running into problems, and they'll take that monkey and they'll put it on your back, and they'll give that monkey to you, to the point where you have like 300 monkeys on your back. And the article in the Harvard Business Review explains that this business leader is going to drive into work on Saturday. And while they're driving into work, they drive by the golf course and they see one of their employees out on the golf course that delegated their work up to him. And the guy's like, "This is ridiculous. I can't do this."
Yeah.
So that the idea is to hire, again, the core values first, but you hire people that have the right core values, that have the right talents and abilities. And then you have a multiplying style of leadership where you say, "I believe in you, and I know you can do this, and I know you can do it twice as fast as everybody else." Which takes elements of How to Win Friends and Influence People and also puts that in there. And what you're doing is you're setting an expectation that you believe in them, which you do. You're setting a goal for them to do it. And then you're saying that you can not only do it, but you can do it twice as good and twice as fast as anybody else. So when you give them that expectation, what ends up happening is people will often live up to that expectation. So that's very, very, very important piece of it. And then as you're running and operating, you build a team where you can consistently give folks to, and then you tell them and mean it sincerely, as we grow, you need to focus on your highest and best use. So you need to train up people around you that can do their next best thing and push them to grow. And then so they can then be in a position where they're a multiplying type of leader and getting more out of people, so that they're not in a situation where they're stuck doing too much. A lot of successful people find great success, particularly early in their career and their life, by being able to do a lot, do it well, and do it incredibly well. And the next level challenge is what got you here will not get you there. So the next level challenge is to be a master of empowering people, a master of delegation, a master of coaching people, and becoming a world-class coach instead of a world-class player. And when you master that ability to hire correctly, have the right core values, and then have a multiplying form of leadership, it works really well. And what I'll say is, when some people are first learning this, they'll try it, and then something won't go right, and then they'll like hold on to the reins really tightly. Or, like, to make a silly analogy, they'll be like the football coach that goes on the field and plays quarterback and wide receiver when they should just be coaching. So when people come to you and ask you these questions, instead of just giving them answers and then saying, I'll take it from here, what a great leader will do is they'll say, "Have you thought about this? Have you thought about that? Why don't you give that a try, and then let me know how it goes?" And now you've taken the monkey that they were about to give to you, you've put it back on their back, but you've also empowered them. So instead of being a diminishing leader, you're being a multiplying leader. And that works really well. I will say that can go too far, to the point where you become a leader that does nothing. And sometimes, like from an actually doing standpoint, and sometimes there are points in a business where it is growing rapidly, where folks do need to burn the midnight oil and put a little extra time. And the thing is, it can't become a lifestyle. It can't become a way of doing business. It's just a short, maybe 1 or 2 week period. And that's fine. And that's good and needed. So during those times when you're asking your staff, maybe for a 2 week period, to do more and burn the midnight oil, roll up your sleeves and get in there with them. Be that servant type of leader, because people, there's really only one type of leader, but there's 2 types of leaders. So there's your servant leader, and then there's the leader who's just an authority. No one wants to work for a mere authority. They want to work for a leader. So rolling up your sleeves and doing that from time to time sends a really strong message, and it's important to do that. But basically, by doing that, you can get into a position where you could run the biggest company in the world, or the biggest organizations in the world, and still be, humming doing roughly 40 hours a week and having a very healthy lifestyle, but also teaching others to do the same thing. And that's really how we've been able to do this with such great success, and as we continue to scale.
Great. Wonderful. Thanks for sharing, Joe. The great late Albert Einstein once said, "The thinking that has got me this far is not the thinking that will help me with my present challenges." And I understand that concept because you are showing that leadership style, but at the same time, you are getting down in the trenches with the people because you too recognize that every different day, something new has to come to work to deal with the current challenges. Nothing remains constant. Change is the only constant. Things change all the time, dynamics, paradigm shifts, you name it. And so once you contain that level of leadership and you continue to commit, then I guess you're going to get that balance. You're going to get that time for yourself, and your staff is going to be more motivated, so you don't have to micromanage. So I
Yes.
get it, Joe. I get it. I
Yes.
just want to play a quick video. It's less than 1 minute, actually, and I want to get your feedback on it. You'll be very familiar with this, so take a look.
Sounds great.
At Choice Local, our mission is simple: help others. We are digital marketers who make online marketing simple for small business owners and franchisees alike. We help you to generate more leads and improve close rates with our proven methods. Whether working from the office or working from home, our team of marketing experts is always working together to drive the best results. We believe in amazing results and amazing customer service. And for our partners, we average an ROI of $15 for every $1 spent. Find out how we can help you. Reach out to speak to one of our team members and receive your free digital marketing strategy. Dominate your local market today. What are you waiting for?
I love it, Joe. What's the whole concept behind it? It is so dynamic and compact. How did you guys come up with it?
My staff surprised me with it and said, "Here." It honestly
Wow.
was a pleasant surprise.
Yes.
So what a good mentor of mine, another one said, "The ultimate form of sophistication is simplicity."
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And another mentor of mine said, "You need to make things simple, so simple that a fifth grader instantly gets it." And if you think about like the beauty of an iPhone, you give a 2-year-old an iPhone and they know how to use it.
Yeah.
That really is how you can be a game changer, is taking these things and making it simple. So when it comes to marketing, if you're a business owner, if you invest in this marketing, if you give me $1, I'll give you back $15 in new customer revenue. It's a very simple thing, like to get your head wrapped around. Like, who wouldn't want that investment? Like, imagine investing $1 in the stock market and having $15 a few months later. That's an amazing return.
Yep.
So that's really the idea. We've built the entire business around being ROI centric and ROI minded, and proving to the penny for every investment that you make what you get in return.
Great. Wonderful. What is the big why that drives Joe Soltis and truly identifies who you are, your character, your mannerisms, and brings real fulfillment to your life? What is the big why for you, Joe?
For me, it's about loving God and loving others. That's what drives me, and that is honestly the sole driver. So there's a book called "Be Great" by Peter Thomas, and in the book, what he describes is this idea of taking all of your values and writing them down, every single value.
Okay.
And then once you have this list of 30, 200, whatever it is, values, you get to pick 5. And then you order those values 1 through 5 and you prioritize them. And for me, it's love God, love family, love others, work hard and win, and enjoy life and live a healthy life. Those are my personal top 5, and everybody's got a personal top 5. So that's what I do, and that's how I built my life. But what's been so rewarding in that, in having this serve others mentality first, is it always seems to come back to you three or fourfold. That's not why you do it. You just do it because it's the right thing to do. But
Mm-hmm.
the byproduct of that is so often very, very good. And if you live your life serving others, great things will happen. Simon Sinek talked about this too. Like, he's like, who has a problem giving a $2 billion bonus to Mother Teresa? How about a $2 billion bonus to Mahatma Gandhi? Like, no one has a problem with that because they've done so much good. But what they do have a problem with is some of these, they talked about like some of these financial scandals in the past where people sacrifice others so that they can get a big bonus themselves.
Yeah.
But if you look back at greatness and what true greatness really is, those remembered by history for being truly great lived for others first.
Okay.
And that's something that's important to remember. That's not my personal motivation, but my personal motivation is to serve and love others. But that view back at history tells you something great, and it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, wonderful, inspirational, Joe. Thanks. If you had to give advice to people in the world, and I mean, I'm looking from the perspective of what is happening. We still have that impending situation that could go really south with Ukraine in terms of all the measures that have been taken, the sanctions. Some could backfire. We know that. The economy looking, like it's going south. Social unrest. We still have mass shootings taking place.
Yeah.
A lot of countries suffering because their GDP is just going down. People are still trying to recover from COVID and other economic challenges that they are facing. And then we enter the hurricane season and we know what that is like.
Yeah.
But if you had the opportunity to say something to the world that would give them hope, comfort, stabilize their thoughts for the future, what would you say to them?
I think our best days are ahead of us. I really sincerely do.
Okay.
As a country, and I think as a world, like there's always been competition between ideologies that oppress people and those that free people. The ones that free people always end up winning.
Okay.
And I believe in humanity. I also believe in a kind and loving God. And I think that through that work and through that effort, good things will happen. It doesn't mean that horrible challenges aren't ahead of us, but good can come out of it and good will triumph. And if you start to study business and you study history, there's been a change in the businesses that win and the businesses that are moving forward. So historically, if you look back to the turn of the industrial era, businesses were all about maximizing shareholder wealth and shareholder value to the point of tremendously abusing people and causing them to suffer.
Okay.
And if you look at the businesses of the future, they're what I call purpose-driven businesses. I think we are headed into an era of the purpose-driven economy where businesses will be judged by, do you offer great value? Do you get something great in exchange for what people pay for? But also, are you doing good and making the world a better place at the same time? And there's a greater value that's being placed upon that. Employees are now, which in Choice Local we call teammates. They are now placing greater value on that people are attracted to work at companies like that. And the key thing is it needs to come from your heart. But people, there's a bit of an awakening going on now where this is starting to happen more and more. And like right now, there's some companies, and I've written articles about this that, in communist China that are relying on slave labor, like the Uyghur Muslims are literally enslaved by the Chinese Communist Party. That's unacceptable. And those countries are the losers of the future. And I think we as a human race are going to make sure that's what's going to happen. Right.
Great. Wonderful. I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit, but actually we may have some fun with it. It's just two choices in the questions I'm going to ask you, and it may be a bit surprising. So if you had a choice, which one you would choose and why?
Okay.
Ham and cheese or peanut butter and jelly?
Ham and cheese, hands down.
Oh, that was quick. Why?
Ham and cheese it's an amazing combination. You put a little mustard on there and you don't even need the bread. I mean, just put the ham and the cheese, a little bit of mustard, and it's incredible. Peanut butter and jelly is good, don't get me wrong, but I think cheese is an easy choice for me.
Good, fair enough. Here's the next one. Baseball or football?
Football.
Wow. Quick again. Why football?
I played football growing up. I won the state championship with my high school team. Had really great memories with it. I'm a football coach now for my kindergartners football team. We had a football game last night. We won 28 to nothing. Mm-hmm. We were not trying to run up the score, but I'm sorry to kind of talk so much about this, but this is important.
Yeah,
I've actually found huge parallels between sports and business, and one of the big parallels is that human nature is human nature. Mm-hmm. So when dealing with even kindergartners, and we're talking to them in a positive way, we're encouraging, and everybody's important, and we're giving rocks, and we're saying you can do this, and it's going to be amazing. They go ahead and they do it. The same thing happens in business.
All right.
So I love being a little kid football coach because it's just so fun to watch them light up and grow and explode in the same way that I love being a CEO, watching people's dreams and aspirations become a reality and just kick major butt in their life.
Yeah. Finally, last one, Joe. Apple or Microsoft?
See, that's a tough question. This is hard for me to answer. So I like the Apple products. I'm an Apple user myself. I wish a third company would come around and disrupt them. I don't think either of those companies are purpose driven enough.
Okay.
But I like the Apple products. What I will say, but I think it's time for a disruptor to come in, and it'll be interesting to see what happens.
Yeah, interesting. Thanks for sharing, Joe. Thanks for playing along with us. We love having you in the breakout room. And as we come to the end of this episode, we'd love to give you a minute or so to just tell folks about Choice Local, the future, what's happening, how they can make contact with you, get your services, get your expertise, and other things that you would offer as a company. So all to you now, Joe.
You can check us out on choicelocal.com. We are the top performing franchise marketing agency, Inc. 5000, the first and only marketing agency to offer a money back guarantee in the franchising space. So you can follow us at choicelocal.com. You can follow Choice Local on any @ChoiceLocal social media channel. And you can also follow me on Twitter at Help Others Joe. I put a lot of stuff out there related to purpose-driven businesses. And I hope you all have a beautiful day and many blessings and much luck in chasing your dreams.
Yeah, wonderful. Thanks for sharing, Joe, and thanks for joining us and spending this valuable time with us, sharing so much wonderful content, inspirational on the program, The Breakout Room in Andy's Personal Development. That's all for now, people. Until next time, this is Andy saying so long and Godspeed. Shalom. Namaste. Keep the love going, people, and stay safe out there. God bless. Until next time. See you.